Heads are definitely about to roll.
If you could have any superpowers, what would they be? Firaxis' tactical RPG, Marvel's Midnight Suns, lets you indulge that fantasy by creating and playing as a new character, the Hunter, within a squad of comic book legends. The game draws on a darker, more mystical Marvel comic book storyline, with heroes taking on the demonic entity Lilith, who's been raised from the dead by Hydra. Before you squad up and embark on your first mission, it's worth getting to know your allies. After all, the fate of the world is at stake. Meet every playable character in Marvel's Midnight Suns. The Hunter has been resurrected by the Midnight Suns because of their unique ability to take on Lilith, who happens to be their mother. After selecting their physical appearance, you carve out the specifics of their combat style by building a deck-based attack, skill, and heroic ability system. This spans 3 branches: power, attacking and defensive moves; light, healing and buffing moves; and dark, hugely powerful moves that come at a cost. And crucially, the availability of these cards is influenced by the Hunter's interaction with other heroes in the Abbey. Build strong enough friendships with these teammates and you'll unlock epic combo takedowns. Half human, half vampire, Blade oversees combat training in the Abbey's yard, and on the battlefield doles out single target slashes with his beloved katana. His abilities reflect his vampiric origins, inflicting bleed that causes damage over multiple turns. He can also stack and chain this effect across several foes, sapping and reclaiming enemy HP. His attack focus means that Blade doesn't possess knockback or healing abilities, so select allies who accompany him on missions wisely. Increase Blade's friendship with the Hunter for more chances to apply bleeding damage. Former Air Force Chief Carol Danvers became Captain Marvel after alien technology ignited her cosmic powers. Controller of the Abbey's war room, she favours brawn over stealth, making her the ideal tank hero. She can unleash vast amounts of energy, culminating in a charged binary state that doubles damage and grants defensive block points. Going binary requires high levels of heroism and is thwarted when Captain Marvel takes damage, as many of her cards feature taunts which draw enemy fire her way. Protecting her and her block levels during missions is vital. Friendship with Captain Marvel grants you the chance to counterattack for every KO she makes. Self-important surgeon Dr. Stephen Strange obtained ancient mystical powers after healing from a car crash. He spent the years since studying incantations to become Earth's Sorcerer Supreme. Strange investigates magical items within the Abbey's forge, and possesses many support abilities to buff and revitalize teammates. He can also influence the draw at the start of turns, bringing attack cards back into play. Many of his cards require minimal expenditure but auto-upgrade as you build heroism, enhancing his combat value. Build a rapport with him and he'll be more likely to generate heroism at the start of turns. One radioactive spider bite transformed Peter Parker from college student and photojournalist to web-slinging crime fighter. He joins the Midnight Suns when his fight against Venom draws their attention. Quick-witted and quick-footed, Spider-Man capitalizes on environmental damage opportunities. His cards cost less heroism compared to other squad members, with a number of quick and free plays in his deck, and he's adept at handling multiple enemy minions. However, as his damage output is less focused, opponents who require heavy blows aren't his forte. Utilize combat items that grant extra moves, and befriend him to enjoy heroism refunded across environmental attacks. Tech-obsessed billionaire and acronym fan Tony Stark functions as the Hunter's forge-based quartermaster, as well as their teammate. He brings both sarcasm and his huge ego to the Midnight Suns, alongside gadgetry that his bottomless brainpower and budget can afford. In combat, Iron Man's an all-rounder, but his high-damage repulsor beams take center stage, allowing him to soar above enemies and blast them with precision. His suit can also mark enemies, and he triggers card auto upgrades when you apply redraws, so be sure to make full use of your turn when he's in your squad. Become best buddies with him, and he can even begin to generate his own redraws. Private and guarded Ilyana Rasputin, aka Magik, was whisked from Siberia by Mephisto and plunged into the demonic realm Limbo. There, she learned to use her soul sword to open portals across time and space. Used tactically, portals can transform the battlefield, combine them with Magik's knockback abilities to send unsuspecting grunts flying into each other, or shift enemy positions to provide more breathing room for damage-dealing teammates. In exchange for her support strength, playing Magik's cards requires large amounts of heroism. However, if you can get on her good side, there's a chance that an interdimensional shove will create a fresh Limbo portal card in your hand. LA mechanic Robbie Reyes never anticipated a street race would see him murdered, resurrected, and subsequently possessed by the flaming spirit of vengeance. Now Ghost Rider, Robbie owns the spirit's muscle car and deals brutal damage in combat. But such strength comes at a cost to your heroism, Ghost Rider's HP, or the cards in your hand. To mitigate this, he has a souls meter charged by executing KOs. When full, it adds drained soul to your hand, enabling you to chain targets and self-heal. Ghost Rider's high-stakes fighting style pairs best with healing, heroism-generating heroes. Friendship increases his HP, ripe for conversion into carnage. As a child, Nico, aka Sister Grimm, discovered her parents were supervillains with a penchant for human sacrifice. She ran away, but her mother attacked her with the Staff of One, and Nico's body absorbed the weapon. When it re-emerged, Nico realized it was bloodbound to her and could infuse phrases with dark magic. Unpredictable in combat, Nico often leaves you unable to specify targets. Some of her cards also have the roulette modifier, meaning their damage, heroism generated, or HP awarded is hidden and randomly determined when they enter your hand. Her abilities favor support and frequently generate heroism, so she pairs well with damage-dealing allies. Buddy up for the chance to draw additional abilities after each play. Logan's gruff demeanor was forged when he was kidnapped and experimented on. Determined to prove he's more than just a lab rat in beast mode, Wolverine joins the Midnight Suns after tussling with arch-enemy Sabretooth. He has self-healing abilities and retains animalistic traits, provoking enemies with taunts and lashing out with moves like the block-breaking piercing slash. Although it's hugely satisfying to unleash his lifesteal Berserk card before chaining swipes, taunts can see Wolverine facing insurmountable fire if not managed carefully. Allow his regeneration time to kick in and bolster him with fighters who can hold their own. Super Soldier Steve Rogers, capped to his buddies, brings a level head and a leader's mentality to the Midnight Suns. In combat, he is a true tank, absorbing hits with his iconic shield and shifting enemy focus with taunts. He can pass a blocking ability onto other squad members or build up defense before converting it into forceful attacks, targeting multiple enemies with cards like Shield Bounce. To maximize Cap's protective abilities and the generous amounts of heroism he dishes out, make sure he's fighting alongside a damage specialist. Increase his friendship with the Hunter to generate block at the start of a mission, and eventually before each turn. Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch, once managed her reality manipulating abilities under the tutelage of Agatha Harkness. After an incident that killed her mentor, she is now under the supervision of Doctor Strange as penance. Scarlet Witch's occult abilities are cast at a distance, meaning she can evade contact scuffles. As well as tossing and marking enemies, she deals damage with radial effects targeting those close by. Underlining the chaos in her magic, playing Hex Charge will make enemies explode, whereas Chaos Reigns causes them to attack each other. Wanda's combat downfall is precision, so team her with heroes who have focused weaponry. With the Avengers assembled and the Hunter risen, it's time to set your sights on Lilith's enslaved army. Get ready for the fight of a lifetime in Marvel's Midnight Suns, out now on PC, Xbox Series X, and PS5. And for all things Marvel, stick with IGN.